What is good, y'all? It's your boy. Today we're going to be talking about runes. Runes is probably the most important thing to set up before a game. This can make or break your game. So you're going to want to learn these things. You get defaults in character select. There are default runes that you can pick, but most people like to build custom runes for their characters, just so that way they can fully know what their character is building towards and they can build it up to their max potential. When we hit on create new, we look at precision, domination, sorcery, resolve, and inspiration. Inspiration is not one that you're going to get immediately. You have to unlock that by just playing the game and leveling up, because this is the wild card. This is the wild card rune. You're almost never going to use these unless you fit a very particular role that bends the rule of the game. But the rest is pretty standard. The yellow one is for attacking, just basic attacking and getting benefits from attacking. Domination is about eliminating the enemy by bursting on them. So this is for burst damage dealers, quick damage dealers, things like that. Sorcery is all about empowered abilities and resource manipulation. You get to practically control your mana, control your abilities, and how long certain things are attached to those abilities when you use them. So you're more ability focused than auto attack focused. These two are practically opposites of each other. If you're going AP, build sorcery. If you're going attack, build precision. But there is a hybrid option that I'll show you in a second. And resolve. This is for tanks and crowd control. If you want to live through them, or if you want to tank through crowd control, this is your tree. So let's talk about precision. First one, press the attack. 3 consecutive attacks. You deal after landing 3 consecutive attacks. You deal bonus damage, causing them to take more damage from all sources. Lethal tempo. After attacking a champion, when you have 6 stacks of press the attack, you gain max attack stacks, and you go past the attack speed limit. So when you're building attack speed, there's a limit that you can cap. This will circumvent that limit. Fleet footwork. After hitting an enemy, you get increased movement speed, and your next attack heals you. And then this one, after gaining stacks, you hit a champion and you gain a portion of the health back to you. Next, you have these 3 sub-themes. These are the same no matter which one of the first area that you pick. You have overheal. Excess healing becomes shield. So any healing given to you, any healing that you get back, or just any healing in general that is more than your health, you gain a shield. Triumph. You restore 5% of your missing health and an additional 20 gold when you kill someone. When you take them down. Sorry, YouTube doesn't like that. When you take down someone. Press the mind. Increase your mana or energy regeneration when damaging an enemy champion. Takedowns restore mana or energy. This is really great if you're playing Lee Sin, Zed, or any other character that doesn't really use mana. You can use this for mana. But energy regeneration is really, really good and very, very rare in this game. So if you're running energy, take Presence of the Mind. It's pretty good. Next, you have your different legend abilities, I guess. I don't know why they're called legend and then with a colon when these aren't like that. Alacrity, about to hit of the gritty. Takedowns grant you attack speed. Takedowns grant you permanent tenacity, which is resistance to crowd control. That's what tenacity means. Resistance to crowd control. And then takedowns grant you permanent lifesteal up to a cap for bloodline, increasing your max health. Weaker earlier but stronger later game than other legend runes. So this is a great late game. These 2 are great throughout the game. And then our last one is practically how you want to deal your damage. This coup de grace deals more damage to low health enemy champions. This deals more damage to champions with more max health than you. And Last Stand is champions who you deal more champions while you are on low health. So while you're low, you're dealing more damage. So this cut down is more against tanks. Coup de grace is more for assassins. And Last Stand is for practically no one. I mean, you don't want to be on low health. But I mean, if that's your deal, then that's your deal. Remember how I told you guys a little bit earlier that there's like a hybrid type option? Well, that's what the secondary path is for. If you recall, when looking at a rune page, I told you that you can pick one of these. Well, when you pick one and you pick the secondary path, you can pick a different option from a different tree. Isn't that cool? So let's say you are an attacker, right? We're going to go attack speed that wants money on gold. I want attack speed, and I'm going to go against people who have more health than me. Then I can pick a different tree and kind of have these trees help me deal with the big things. So for example, if I wanted to go burst, right, I can do something like Relentless Hunter and Taste of Blood. Relentless Hunter will grant me out of combat movement speed, so when I'm out of combat I can get back into lane faster, or I can get back into the next fight faster. And Taste of Blood, because of my attack speed, will practically give me lifesteal even though I don't have lifesteal. So it heals when I deal damage. Heals me when I deal damage to them. So you can use the other sorcery trees to help you with mana. For example, this will grant me more mana. And this will give me ability haste and ability... No, it's just ability haste. So this will allow me to bring my abilities up faster when I reach these certain levels. We'll talk about the sorcery tree in a second. But the idea is that you can use two of these trees at the same time, but you can only pick two options from the other tree that you're going off of. Lastly, these are just basic stats that you can add onto your champion. This little axe icon is for attack speed. This little boot icon is for movement speed. The heart with the star on it is for health scaling. The basic heart is just raw health. The hourglass is cooldown. So, and these diamonds are adaptive force. The game knows what build you're trying to do, and it'll go +9 towards damage if you're an attacker, or AP if you're a magic dealer, or it'll just give you 9 to both of those. To be honest, I'm not sure on the math on adaptive force, so we won't worry about that too much. Let's talk about domination. The burst tree. This is pretty epic. After hitting 3, this is normally for assassins, some mages, some AD carries, just anything that you can deal in burst. This is your tree. Electrocute. After hitting an enemy with 3 attacks or 3 spells in a short deal of time, which is 3 seconds, you deal this lightning strike, which deals bonus damage. Predator. This is a perk that gets added onto your boots. You can activate your boots by pressing the number that the boots is on the item list, and you get to activate Predator. This grants you a large movement speed boost, and the next attack that you're about to deal is going to deal massive damage. So movement speed characters, movement speed junglers really want Predator. Dark Harvest. This is a slow but late game type of perk where dealing damage to low health champions gives you bonus damage, but you also harvest a soul. Those souls will help you gain more and more damage throughout the game. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think if you die, you lose some of them. But you can let me know that in the comments down below. Hail of Blades. You get a large movement speed boost for the first 3 attacks made to an enemy champion. So you attack an enemy and then you gain attack speed. The next one deals extra damage through different methods. So Cheap Shot is good by impairing them with debuffs. So like you root your enemy, you deal more damage because they're rooted. So you impair them of their actions or of their movement, and you deal more damage when they're in that state. Taste of Blood, as we talked about earlier, heals you when you're dealing damage. Sudden Impact, you gain a burst of lethality and magic penetration. Lethality is the same as magic penetration, but for armor. It used to be called armor penetration, but now it's called lethality. I don't know why. But you gain a burst of armor penetration, and magic penetration after using a dash, a leap, a blink, a teleport, or when you leave stealth, which is like being invisible. Some characters can go invisible. You want them to be invisible. So when you get out of it, it's really good to just instantly gain armor penetration and magic penetration, so that way if they have magic resist or armor, you just lessen the effect of the armor. Next, you have Zombie Ward, Ghost Pyro, or Eyeball Collection. Ghost Pyro and Zombie Ward both help you with vision. Vision is pretty fucking good. It's actually the key essential thing to this game. So these two are pretty great. Don't sleep on them. But also, Eyeball Collection is practically a thing for all people. Anytime you take down an opponent, you gain an eyeball. And when you gain all these eyeballs, you gain permanent attack damage or magic damage when you collect them. So pretty epic. This last option has 4 options as opposed to before. Treasure Hunter, unique takedowns grant additional gold for the first time they are collected. This is really great on Rengar. Ingenious Hunter, unique takedowns will lower your cooldowns. Haste is lowering your cooldowns. So your number 4 item, your free item, that gets reduced. Your abilities get reduced. Just all of your stuff gets reduced. Relentless Hunter. Takedowns grant additional combat movement speed. We've talked about this before. But if you're a very movement speed focused character, this is probably one of them that you want to rock. Just granting more out of combat movement speed means that you get to go back to lane faster. You get to go back to your jungle clear faster. You just get to move faster throughout the map, as long as you're not attacking someone. It is really great, very underrated type of condition for you to get that movement speed. But once you attack something, you lose that movement speed. It only activates when you're out of combat for like 3 seconds or so, and then it comes in. So take that as you will. Ultimate Hunter. Takedowns reduce your ultimate's cooldown. So you kill you take down someone, and you just reduce your ultimate. That's practically it. So if you're very ultimate reliant, Ultimate Hunter is your way to go. And just like I showed you before, we have the domination tree selected. So let's say if I'm an AD, crowd control, ultimate reliant character, I can use precision to grant me even more gold, or any of the previous 3 abilities down here. Notice how this first option is called a keystone. You won't get to pick a keystone from this menu over here. You only get to pick these 3 down here, whatever's in that tree. So in the precision, when we looked down here earlier, we saw all 3 of these options in the same hybrid menu over here. You understand? Great. Sorcery. This is all about empowering abilities and mana manipulation. Let's talk at the keystones. Summon Airy. When you attack someone, the Airy will go to the enemy and deal a little bit of damage to them and then come back to you. But if you're shielding, the Airy will go to them and increase the shielding. So this is good for both damage and shield abilities. Arcane Comment. When you hit someone, a little comment's gonna pew, or back in the day we used to call it Zerth's cum. gets to get shot, and this little AoE comet slams the ground. And if your opponent's in that area when it's being thrown, then they're going to get hit with more damage. And phase rush. This is movement speed. After hitting an opponent with 3 separate attacks or abilities, you get a burst of movement speed. Next, we're going to talk about these 3. Nullifying Orb gains a magic damage shield when low health. Mana Flow Band. This is my favorite. This helps my friends with their mana problems. You get increased maximum mana by 25 up to a cap of 250 mana. After reaching 250 mana, you restore 1% of your mana every 5 seconds. That may not seem a lot, but in a game where you're constantly trading back and forth, you're going after minions, and you're doing all these things, 5 seconds in lane phase, it's not that bad. That 5 mana can give you just enough mana for you to get out of a gank situation, for you to engage, for you to disengage, for you to finish the blow. You guys can do whatever you want with that mana, but you are gaining your mana back. It's pretty epic. Nimbus Cloak. After casting a summoner spell, which is the spells we've gone through in the last video, if you haven't seen it, check my basics Linux client tutorial or guide, and you will know that spells like Flash, Ghost, Heal, Teleport, Ignite, and Exhaust, those give you a short movement speed after you use them, and it also gives you the ability to pass through units. So normally in this game you can't walk through minions. Believe it or not, those minions are bodies that are physical. You walk around the bodies most of the time, even if you try to tell a character to move to a particular spot, if minions are in the way, it will slightly shove you out the way. This will help you kind of avoid that, like around that, but most junglers are going to be using this. Most laners aren't going to be using this. Transcendence. This is for ability cooldown. At level 5, when you're in a game, you gain +5 ability haste. When you're at level 8, on top of the 5 that you got earlier, you gain an additional 5 ability haste. And then at level 11, champions on takedowns reduce the remaining cooldowns of basic abilities, which is your Q, W, and E, by 20%. 20%. That is almost a fourth of your cooldowns after you kill someone when you reach level 11. And that's just reducing their cool off time. That's crazy as a rune. So it's pretty good. Celerity with the gritty. Why do all of these guys have riddy, like itty in the name? I'm just gonna keep making this joke. All movement speed bonuses are 7% more effective, and you gain 1% movement speed. To be honest, I'm not really sure who runs this. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. Either go Transcendence or go Adaptive Focus. Either of these two are great. I think this is only good for certain movement speed characters, and even then, I don't think they're going to be rocking this tree that often. I don't think they're going to be rocking this tree very often. Absolute Focus just gives you extra damage when you're above 70 health. If you're not above 70 health, you don't gain that extra damage. But you're going to protect yourself, right? You're not going to walk into the lane and just immediately die by the turret, right? So you should be fine. Scorch. Burns champions. Water walking. You move faster when in the river. And Gathering Storm. You just gain increasing damage throughout the game. Very simple, these last 3. Resolve. This is for the tanky boys. This is for the people who say, screw you, CC. I don't want to deal with this right now. Or if you're a support with the shield, this is your way to go. If you're a tank and you want to go like trading constantly back and forth, you want Wrath of the Undying. Every 4 seconds on your next attack, you deal bonus magic damage. But the damage also heals you and permanently increases your health by a little bit. Isn't that great? You every 4 seconds you slap someone and you gain back your heal. When you're top lane, all you want to do is just do small trades. That's mostly what you're doing until you're ready to full on engage them to finish the kill. But throughout the game, you're just going to be trading, and every 4 seconds, your trade is going to be better than your opponent's because you're rocking Grasp of the Undying. Now, let's say you have a lot of crowd control. If you have crowd control, Aftershock is your way to go. After immobilizing an enemy, you as the one who immobilized them, gain better defense, and later deal a burst of magic damage around you. So how this works, you land your stun and then this activates. After a few seconds, you'll see it explode, and that explosion will deal magic damage around you. Guardian, this is for the shield dudes. This is for one who grants shields. This is one who casts shields on themselves. This is your shield buff perk. Guard allies you cast spells on, which is like your supports, like granting you shields, or tanks giving a shield onto someone else. If you or the guarded ally would take damage based on level, both of you gain a shield. Both you and the shielded person get a small shield. So on top of the shield that you gave to someone else, you're not losing that shield. You're also gaining this shield from your keystone. To make things even more clarified, I'm going to label these guys as runes. These guys are the real runes, even though I don't know why this is called a rune page when it really should be called the keystone page, but it's been called runes for all of League's history. So let's just keep going. As a top laner and or support tank, you have a few options on how you want to build around your tank units. Or, right, you can say fuck all that and just go demolish. What demolish does, demolish will put rings around the tower, around the enemy tower that you are closer to. And then as you're hitting the tower, those charges will go away. And then once all those charges go away, you hit it, you deal one massive damage towards the tower. Only towards the tower. So this is great for top laners who just want to shred their enemy towers. The next one is Font of Life. Stunning someone or impairing an enemy marks them. Then when your allies attack them, they heal when they attack the enemy that you marked. Shield Bash. Whenever you gain a shield, your next basic attack gains a bonus damage. So when you put a shield on someone and that next person goes to attack someone, their attack is going to be even stronger. After 12 minutes in the game, you just immediately gain 8 armor and 8 magic resist, and you increase your armor and magic resist by 3%. This is pretty good. People underestimate this coming in at 12 minutes, and they wonder why the tank is unkillable after building their first 3 items, and then say fuck it, add 3% more of whatever you got. Pretty cool. Second Wind. After taking damage from an enemy champion, heal back some of the missing health over time. So after you trade with someone up top or in support lane, you need to back off a little bit for you to heal. And this rune is going to help you heal back some of the health. Bone Plating. After taking enemy damage from an enemy champion, the next 3 spells or attacks that you receive will deal 30 to 60 less damage. So this means that when you take damage from someone and they try to burst you down, they will deal 30 to 60 less damage just because you have this. In the last layer, we have Overgrowth. When permanents gain max health when minions or monster die around you. So you gain more health the more things die around you, whether that's jungle clear or whether that's minion clears. This is really good if you're support, because you're not going to be getting the gold from the minions if you're helping your ADC. But your health won't suffer from that, from you not getting the gold, because your health is slowly increasing throughout the game. Revitalize. You gain 5% heal and shield power, and then the heals or shields that you cast are 10% stronger on targets who are 40% below health. So if you're a healer, if you're someone who grants shields, then this is your rune to go. Unflinching. This gives you armor and magic resist when you are under crowd control, when you are immobilized. So when you are immobilized, not when you immobilize someone else, when you are immobilized, you gain additional armor and magic resist. Now for the most kooky, wacky, most crazy tree out of all of these is the inspiration tree. A few characters can rock these, and you're going to see why as soon as I lay out the specifics, because these are very oddly specific. You will know if this character fits you based on these descriptions. For Glacial Augment, okay, sorry. Got a notification on my phone. For Glacial Augment, after immobilizing an enemy, 3 rays will pop out, slowing anyone who gets hit by it. So Janna is really good at this because her Q ability is a tornado, and she has a slow that is just tap and that slow pops out, but mostly immobilizing means stunning, rooting, and other shit like that. So Janna, Lux, just most characters with a rooted crowd control, this is your rune to go. Unsealed Spellbook. This is really weird. Swap summoner spells while out of combat. Swapping to unique summoner spells will increase the rate at which you can make future swaps. What does this mean? So in the previous video, we talked about if we go back to our collections and go to spells, these guys, normally you can have only 2 of these throughout the game and you're locked at those 2. But with this rune, with this keystone, when you're out of combat and after you use them, you can switch them out for something else. How is this useful? Okay, let's say we run Flash Ignite and we choose to go top lane, and you have everyone in the chat roasting you for going top lane with Flash Ignite. Well, you can say, screw you guys, pick Spellbook, and now you get to swap throughout any of these throughout the game. You can swap Ignite for Teleport. You can swap Flash for Ghost. You can swap Ignite for Smite. So you can double smite the dragon. Double smiting the dragon. You can go Flash Barrier. You can go Flash Exhaust. You can go Flash any of these guys. You get to switch them out throughout the game. That is something normally no one can do. No one can ever do. But if you rock this, then you can. First Strike. This ability only cares about your first interaction and will deal more damage just based off of one move. I know it says for 3 seconds, but it's practically the one-shot kill shot keystone. Characters like Vigar, Caitlyn ult, I guess. I mean, really, you can go Souls. Souls, I feel like would be better for like overall and throughout the game damage, but First Strike is all about that first few seconds. You're going in, you're dealing 7% damage, extra damage, and you're getting gold based on the damage dealt. Okay, here we go. Hextech Flash Traption. This is a mini flash while your actual flash is on cooldown. Flash is such an important thing that they made a rune specifically to give you a extra bonus one. But here's the thing. The Hex Flash doesn't go, well, it does go as far, but you have to channel it for a second. And then you blink. And then you blink. So it's not immediate. You channel it, then you blink. Magical footwear. If you're someone who keeps forgetting to buy boots, don't worry about it. This rune got you. At the 12-minute mark, you get free boots. Each kill that you get makes your cooldown 45 seconds sooner. So the more kills you get before 12 minutes, the faster the boots will come into your inventory for free. For free. You don't have to spend the 300 to whatever gold for level 2. I mean, you still have to spend it for level 2, but that's 300 gold in the early game that you get to save. I'm not sure what that's going to get for you, but if you're someone who forgets boots, this is your perk. Triple Tonic. Upon reaching level 3, you gain an elixir. Upon level 6, you gain an elixir. And upon level 9, you gain an elixir. This is supposed to, I believe, help with your mana. So if I recall correctly, I believe that's what that's for. Futures market. You can enter debt when paying for things at the store. So there's an item that you're so close to getting, you just need a few hundred gold, you wish you can take out a loan, that will take out the loan for you based on your champion level. And it goes up throughout the game as you get higher and higher. But you get to go into debt. So the gold that you're collecting for however long it takes for you to recuperate the gold that you spend, you can buy early items and go into debt. Minion Dematerializer. You start off with 3 of these things in your item box. And with these 3, you get to instantly kill a minion and gain extra damage towards that minion type throughout the game. So you grab this, you press the item on 3 cannon minions, and you will deal so much more damage to the cannon minions or to the mage minions that you will practically one-shot them and eventually just get gold for just looking at them, essentially. Biscuit delivery. You get a free biscuit every 2 minutes until 6 minutes. Consuming the biscuit permanently increases your mana and restores health and mana. This is great if you're running out of mana and you want something that heals both health and mana. This is your rune to go. Lastly, we have Comic Insight, Approach Velocity, and Time Warp Tonic. Cosmic Insight gives you 18 Summoner Spell Haste, so this is really great with Spellbook, and 10 Item Haste, so item cooldown gets increased by 10, or gets reduced by 10. Approach Velocity, bonus movement speed towards nearby enemies that are stunned. Bonus movement speed enemies towards the enemy that are impaired, that you impaired. So if you're the Lux, or if you're the Janna, or if you're the Vigar, the movement speed that the stun that you caused, you can catch up to them faster. And Time Warp Tonic. Potions, biscuits, and all that good stuff. Grants you more of that stuff immediately. But it also gives you movement speed while under their effects. You move faster, when you eat a potion, or when you drink a biscuit. Works perfectly fine with me. And lastly, we talked about these stats earlier. They are the same no matter what tree you pick. So we don't have to go over these again. Go on to Google and learn what people recommend for these builds, or for builds of your character, because you will come to find a certain pattern. Mostly precisions are with attack top laners, junglers, or AD carries. Domination is more for burst mages and burst junglers. Sorcery is more about mages and supports. Resolve is more for tank top laners and tank support laners. And inspiration is for anyone who doesn't fill the requirement for the rest. Mostly as the secondary option, because this Healing Tonic potion is pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty epic. Very underrated. Minion dematerializer, very epic. I'm not sure about these three. You're really not going to be using these three when you're choosing a secondary, but those two are great. Those two are good. It's great. It's fantastic. Trust me. Trust me. And that's all we're going to talk about today. Trust me, you can go all day talking about these runes, being who's good for what. But the good thing is that you get to build this however you want. So if you want to be the wild card top laner, go for it. Go nuts, bro. With this shit, with spellbook, this thing, future market debt, and say boots, you are a tank that can swap spellbooks, that can swap summoner spells throughout the game, get free boots, go into debt, and said summoner spells that are on sale are off cooldown faster. And let's say fuck it, let's say because you are a shielding tank, you're gonna go shield and shield bash and ventilize, and look at that. Now when you gain a shield, your next basic attack against a champion deals bonus adaptive damage. And then Revitalize gains 5% heal and shield power. Shields and heals are stronger for targets that are below 40% health, which is normally when you want to use them abilities. So, yeah, go nuts, go crazy. If you want to go bursty tank, fuck it, go bursty tank. If you want to manage your resources, go sorcery, go crazy. You want to be a basic attack legend, like you want to just basic attack your way to win, then go precision. A lot of people are gonna tell you how to build and how to do this and how to do that. Google it if you want to, don't if you don't. At the end of the day, these runes are a fun way to build your character towards however you want to build them. All right, that's it. Have a good one.